Hi guys, it's been a while. So anyway, today's topic will be on buying a location that we like, or rather choosing a supposedly good location over another one, which may actually be a good deal. Okay, it's just that maybe we don't like the location not too ulu not atas enough So why are we talking about this topic today? Because I definitely do. I think every single uh one of us out there we definitely have clients we spot opportunities, and then we share with the client, and then the client will be like, oh, I don't like this location this location too ulu too far away from MRT not atas enough no feel what else must have good school all kinds of things lah. So basically at the end of the day, of course, there's no right or wrong. It boils down to what are your priorities. Do you want to buy a place just to enjoy the place and just to enjoy the everything around it, or do you want to exit with profits? Because the funny thing is when we when buyers buy, right, and then you tell them, oh, not all because there are a lot of agents out there, they are just promising, yeah, you buy this one, in Singapore freehold confirm can make money on which is definitely not true. But of course for me it doesn't I don't do it like that. If you are buying something that I feel it won't go up, I will let you know first. If you insist on buying, then I think I would have done my fair share by giving you a heads up. But if you do end up buying, and then you in the end you say, oh, I'm going to stay here for long and then after 5 years later, which always happens not all cases, but very often we see this kind of thing happen. After 5 years, guess what? Yeah, this year I feel like moving there. What's the price now I can fetch and then what else can we buy so this kind of thing always happens. And then when they want to exit, they realize that, hey, it's not a price that I want. Then how? If I'm going to make an overall loss, including all the causes, then might as well stay put. Anyway, I like the location anyway. I like where I am. So okay long. But at the end of the day, are you happy? Are you happy that your place that you are staying in is not really helping you to make money, or in fact is draining your wealth, because you are paying running causes just to maintain the causes, just to maintain the unit. But on the other hand, you have people who are enjoying where they are staying. Maybe they didn't like the place at the start, but they grow to like the place, and then end up they exit with profit. So in the end, they realize that actually this place is not that bad like for example, High Park I think, although let's just face it a lot of people who bought High Park obviously didn't like the location, right? When it first launched, it like, what kind of ulu location is that? View. But guess what? It is one of the biggest hitters of rather profit making condos in recent history. And we all know that the location is definitely not near MRT. It is right in front of LRT, but we all know that LRT is much like a bus stop because it's so far away, right? And then you take that few LRT stops, go back all the way to Sengkang, and then Sengkang, then you go to the main line, to the purple line, and then you go down to whichever station that you are going to. So is that really a good location? I think most of us would agree that it is not exactly a good location, but they make money. Oh hell yes, it has made a lot of money. So today let's compare quite a few examples. I think today's video will be quite a bit longer than recent ones. For just recently, not much to talk about, but I think today's topic will be quite interesting, given that I have quite some of viewers coming to me with the same concerns. So disclaimer, whatever I share today is just based on my point of view and then my own experience, and then it's not representative of anybody else that I may be associated with, or rather if it's offends you, then I'm sorry about it. Anyway, okay, so given a choice last time, between these two locations, 6 Derbyshire, which is quite near Novena and Newton. Newton is the other over the other side. And then versus this one, both are, I would say, walking distance of MRT. This one not as close. Of course, this one is closer. And which one will most people choose? I mean, in terms of atas wise, I think cannot compare. This is like CCR kind, Newton kind of feel. So there will be bound to have its fair share of bias, right? But then, okay, so later we'll see how's the performance like. On the other hand, on the same year that it was launched, I think it was 413, both of them. Then Alex Residences was also on the market, new. So would you have chose 6 Derbyshire or chose Alex Residences? Okay, I think there, because both are actually quite good location lah. But then I would say those people who want more atas feel, they want better schools here and there, they will probably want to choose this one. Okay, and then we'll see what happened. We have 6 Derbyshire and the blue line, and then the green line, Alex Residences. Both were TOP in 2017. That's why I pull them both together so it's comparable. And then both were launched in about 2013 Q4, right after cooling measures. And then we see over the years, over the past few, I would say almost 9 years, 6 Derbyshire has been flat. That means you guys know already, you know the drill. You have your buyer stamp duty, and then you have your legal, and then you have interest costs, and then you have your maintenance fee. And even if you do end up selling, you have your agent fee, and all add up. Are you going to be just breaking even? Definitely not. Okay. And then we have Alex Residences. Not a lot, but still managed to go up. So let's see how's the performance like. Oh, by the way, the 6 Derbyshire is also freehold. The other one is 99. Forgot to add. And then let's see. This is 6 Derbyshire's performance. I've already erased covered the stories because confidential details are hot. Okay, I don't want to complain over these kind of things. And then the freehold one, the maximum profit is $168,000, which is decent, not bad. But on the other hand, you have 6 unprofitable versus 3 profitable, and then these two are actually obviously unprofitable because after you pay buyer stamp duty, it's gone. And then you have these guys who outright unprofitable, and then the max negative loss will be $283,000 before all the causes. So you can imagine how much money did this guy actually lost over the span of 3 years. He probably would have been kicking himself. Okay. On the other hand, you have Alex Residences, 34 profitable versus 8 unprofitable. Maximum loss 101, which is not so good, obviously. But you look at the numbers of losses versus the winners out here. There are quite some healthy figures over these guys. For these guys over here, 2013 obviously was a tough year, but I choose to make it more fair comparison. That's why I put 2013 one. 2013 because there was a major cooling measure year, or rather the biggest cooling measure in our Singapore real estate history. MAS doesn't recognize it as a cooling measure, but we all know what it is. So would you have let's see how many of us actually would have made this choice over this choice. Okay, you do have to think about it. Is this actually at the end of the day when you exit, will this one be more attractive to you, or will this one be more attractive to you? I mean, definitely people who stay at Derbyshire will be like, wow, atas ma. This one, not saying too bad lah. I mean, Redhill is definitely not a shabby area at all. But the feel is definitely different from staying in Newton. Sometimes just because you mentioned Newton, it gives you some bragging right, maybe. And then on the other hand, you have I think this was back in maybe 2014. You have Sophia Hills, very close to be got MRT, or rather, you see 3 lines over here. And then walking distance definitely to Plaza Sing, because maybe one big round lah. Okay. And then on the other hand, you have Panorama, Ang Mo Kio, Ulu Ang Mo Kio. By the way, this one wasn't done. This one wasn't done at all at the point when 2014 when it was selling. This guy is only opened last year when people started chonging down to Thomson to go and eat prata. Like Machan never eat prata for 10 years already. So once this opened in, I think August, if I'm not wrong, 2021 around there, then Yeah, and then people started throwing out the prata. So this one was definitely out of the picture. That means this one was done in 2018. That means people actually waited 3 years for this MRT. Like, how many people would have been able to tahan 3 years without all this transport? So was this really a major factor? I don't really think so. And then how many people would have chose this versus this? This is obviously a much more superior location. CCR, this is OCR, definitely much more ulu, not very, very accessible, I would say. Of course, there's one good school over here lah. Then let's see the performance. And then you see back in 2014, if I compare, this guy was also launched in 2014, this guy was also launched in 2014, but to be fair, if same quarter, this guy come in versus this and this guy come in at the same quarter, you see what would have happened. It would have been like this. And even if you got in at the next quarter, it would have been flat. On the other hand, if another guy bought Panorama, he would have been sitting around here, this region today. So at the end of the day, you look at the gap. Is it a very big gap? I don't really think so. Last time, was it a very big gap? So was it worthy to go for Sophia Hills? I think all these guys, they really like the location. Is a very, I would say, like I mentioned quite a few times already, it's a very different kind of feel. Maybe they really like it, but they probably didn't expect to be seeing this kind of loss. Definitely, because I mean, there are a lot of agents out there saying, "Oh, location is everything." What? How can you go wrong with this kind of location? Everything can go wrong if you ignore the fundamentals. It's like buying a stock just because it's flying today. Wow, GameStop is flying because everyone is buying it because it's a meme stock or whatever stock. And then does it have very good fundamentals? We don't know. I mean I don't know. I'm just using an example. I don't really go and look at the fundamentals of GameStop, but I don't think it's as solid as people make it out to be. So both are TLP around almost the same period. I think Panorama also around 2018, around there. So let's see. Numbers wise, we have Mount Sophia, this part over here. You can see the profitable 8 transactions and then unprofitable 4 transactions. Profitable, we have a maximum of 162,000, and then you have unprofitable maximum of 168,000. Is this something that is quite surprising? I really don't think so. And then if we go to Panorama, absolutely none of them lost money. On the other hand, you have 126 of them who made money, at least some form of money. They didn't go zero and below. None of them, versus this guy, there is 4 of them and then 8, and then a lot of them actually are not making money. This guy didn't make money, didn't make money, didn't make money, didn't make money. This one maybe let's see, with this kind of size and this, I think likely they never make money also. So majority of them didn't actually make money. Whereas these guys are making real more than 500,000. We got 5 guys more than 500,000. But is it a ulu location at that point? I would say if you ask people, last time, will Panorama kind of location be able to fetch 1,700? People will be thinking, wow, crazy. How is it possible? But today we can see what's actually happening. All right. Next, we have okay, so both two are more of those the two behind okay, so what we have gone through is more of like a macro comparison. What do I mean by macro? Like example, the whole of Singapore, we compare and maybe at this time frame, you can buy Sophia Hills here and then Panorama here. And then just now was like a Derbyshire over here, Redhill over here. So we are comparing across different regions, and then now we go to the more micro comparison. We have both sharing one MRT. Okay, Hillview. You have the Helio, which has Hillview 2 more over here. Very convenient, everything downstairs. I mean, if I need any necessity, I can just go downstairs, right? How much more convenient can it get? And then it's still definitely walking distance to MRT. This is definitely not within walking distance to MRT. Eco Sanctuary. So at this point last time, both were able to buy either this or this, and then will most people be more willing to go for this? I would think so, versus this one, because this is definitely not near MRT at all, and this is right next to expressway. And for those of you wondering, this is the one with honeycomb shape. I think I really like the design lah. It's it really stands out. So but I really don't think just because of that is making money. Okay, for those of you who are wondering. And let's see the performance. So for Helia, back in 2012 when both were launched, Helia till now is like this, whereas we have Eco Sanctuary like this. So is it surprising? I really don't think so. If you are the kind that actually sit down and look at the numbers, it made a lot of sense why this one would have closed out the gap. Okay, some people will say, oh, you know, TT, you just you high side ma, you look at data last time ma. But I think if you look at enough data, this is quite a no-brainer. Oh, given this kind of price gap. Right? Later we'll show you some more. And then both TOP 2116. Okay. So let's see the Helia. We have guys that are hitting $100,000+, total of 90 profitable transactions, but the maximum profit is $169,000 maximum profit. And then on the other hand, you have 34 of them who are not profitable, 420,000 maximum loss. $400,000+ for loss. I think this is quite ridiculous. 90 of them lost made money, 34 of them lost money, and then the highest loss was way more than almost 3 times the amount of the highest gain in Helium. But on the other hand, we have Eco Sanctuary, 111 transactions for something that is totally off MRT walking distance. 2 transactions that is unprofitable. Maximum profit $451,000. And then we got quite some guys over the 300,000 mark. So why is this? Why is it like this? Well, is it worth it to be buying MRT just because, you know, that convenience? Is that immediate convenience, that the emotion of being able to, oh, you know, near MRT, wow, atas area I like, is that kind of emotion worth it at the end of the day when you want to sell? Will you be able to face the loss? Is it okay for you? I mean, if it's okay, you really, if you have very high earning power, you do not need this kind of a few $100,000. Like for example, if you're earning 4 to 500K a single year, then you wouldn't be bothered about this kind of thing, right? But on the other hand, for the majority of us who are maybe earning a couple of $1,000s, $10,000+, you're saving a few $1,000s a month, kind of saving rate. How long will it take for us to be saving? So, like for example, this guy over here, $451,000. Example, $451,000 every single month. Even if I can save $5,000, how long will it take me? It will take me 7.5 years just to save the same amount of money, and then I have to scrimp and save. But how many people are able to maintain that kind of discipline to save 5K in a single month? Okay, you have to ask yourself. And if you are not able to, is your property able to help you do it while you're enjoying the property? Okay, and then next one we have obviously over here the current example, which is still selling, but I'm not telling you to go and buy now, please. Okay, Sengkang Grand and Florence Residences. Both of them are obviously very close to each other. In fact, this guy is just on top, somewhere around the map, further down the purple line. I didn't bother to zoom out because it'd be too small for you to see. This guy is in the middle of nowhere, in no man's land. Okay, if you notice, this is like a almost equidistance from both MRT. This guy is just right in front of MRT, and we all know what happened today. Florence managed to almost catch up with the same price as this. Then people will be thinking, why it must be Bangkok not in good enough location. Actually, not really. If you look closely, I've mentioned in another video before, we have these guys over here as direct competitors. So what a lot of them are missing is that they are lacking their fundamental analysis. Why is it so important to be analyzing the fundamentals, to be analyzing your competitors, especially if you know your competitors are like selling your resale, or rather your new guy, a new guy that is right beside you, almost right beside or right beside you, selling almost at the same price as your resale, then you're asking for it by buying the resale. Because why would somebody want to buy a new car? Why would somebody want to buy an old car when the new car is selling at the same price? Right? I mean, it's perfect logic, right? If I give you 2 cars, okay, one is a 5-year-old car, the other one is a brand new car. Which one will we take? Right? Most people would be taking a new car. I think this goes without saying, right? And then this is definitely not surprising. Today, They are already closing out the gap. And then this gap over here, in fact, I think is definitely only like 30 or 40 PSF. So what is actually happening? Is it worth to be so-called ignoring the fundamentals to buy this versus ignoring the fundamentals to buy this? So remember, I think it is very important for us to not make a permanent decision for our temporary emotion. When we want to buy a house, everyone is excited. Let's face it, it's very exciting to be buying a house, but at the same time, very stressful because you're scared of buying the wrong thing. And it's so exciting because you're looking forward to your own new home, or I have this vision of whichever place I want to stay. I want it to be nice. I want it to be full of facilities. I want my kids to be able to run, or I want to be able to enjoy the facilities also. And then all these boils down to your temporary emotion. Because why is it temporary? Because you can think about everything, all the nice stuff. But at the end of the day, when you shift in already, the first month you're excited. The second month, maybe you are kind of excited. Third month, you're not really excited. And then half a year later, guess what? You're not excited anymore. So is this temporary? I really would think so. 6 months, I think, is still more like a temporary. But are you stuck with the house? I think that is for sure. That's why is it worth to be making a permanent decision for your temporary emotion, or should you be making a permanent decision based on a sound logic? Okay, and then the other one, so this is the main part of the today's sharing that we want to be talking about. The other one will be some other case studies that I came across recently from different viewers. And then we have guys who have been looking around for properties. They tell me, I've been looking for 1 year, 2 year. Even got 10 years. 10 year people looking for 10 year, but never take a shot. And then but of course I do know the people looking for 10 years, they eventually took the shot, and then I think we are happy for them. But there are people who are still not taking the opportunities. So why do I put a NATO over here? Because recently, Ukraine and Russia, I just wanted to find a way to throw this in. Anyway, so we all know and no NATO means no talk, no action, talk only. That means you want to find out all about the market. For some of you, maybe even more knowledgeable than me in the market, but you do not have the you are able to find the courage to pull the trigger. So is it more of like, I want all this last, and then 10 years later, last time I should have buy this, last time I should have buy that. And now it's all talk, but there was no action involved. And then will you be missing all these opportunities? I think a lot of those of you who have been observing the market for even more than half a year, or even more than 3 months, you will realize that you have missed out on a lot of good opportunities. It's just that at that point, there is an opportunity. For you is some part of you feels like there could be something else, or maybe this launch, the price has went up a little bit already, so not worthy. I think I'm waiting for the new launch, the next one. So let's see. Like for example, just now I mentioned, okay, so this guy in blue, I'm not going to show the development. If you want, you can kind of ask me for it. So for some other confidential purpose. So you have this guy. This guy is a resale. This guy was a new one at a 0.2017. For those of you who know, okay, give you a hint, District 16, you're gonna find it out. So this one is a resale, this one is a new one. And then you look at this, at this point, the new one is selling at the same price as the old one. So there are people, it seems same price, and then I don't want to wait and then I just buy and then guess what? This is where they are today. And then there are people who are willing to wait, and then this is where they are today. Okay, is it expected? I think definitely, and this is just given that the two of them are just having a 4-year gap. But imagine if the next one, the one that you're comparing, maybe you're staying in the resale condo right now, and then you got one new one that is launching right next to you, and it's almost 7 to 8 years younger. Will the gap be like this only, or is it going to be even wider? Okay, is that a danger point? Should you be considering the one that is newer one? Because same analogy, the new car and the old car selling at the same price, which one will you pick? Very straightforward answer. And then we have this one. Okay, I had to show the unit number in order to compare. So I had to block out the street name lah, and then for confidentiality purposes. So let's see. Back in 2014 and 5, I would say, okay, let's just look at 15. When this development was first launched, and then people paid this kind of price for it, $1.85 million for this. 12th floor. This was back in 2015. And then 2 years later, I see this is April 2015. And then almost 2 exact years. Actually, it's 2 exact years. I didn't even realize. So it's 2 exact years later. When people will be thinking, it's too late to enter already. Because guess what? This guy from 1185 increased price to 1301. For how many floors difference? Actually, only 2 floors difference. The 14th and 12th floor. Okay. 14 and 12 floor difference. And then you look at the price, it has went up by $180,000. Most people would have walked away, right? I mean, you touch your heart lah. How many of you would have walked away? I think it is very tempting for people to just walk away because I don't want to pay 180K more than my neighbors, right? And then guess what? This guy, who other people at this point would have been crazy, would have been saying, wow, why I want to buy today at 2.303 million when last time people buy 1.85 million. This guy today is actually smiling because why? He managed to sell it off. 14th floor managed to sell it off. This same exact guy again. And he managed to sell it off 2.48. And then how much did he make? $450,000. Was it a one-off? Actually, not really. I mean, if it's a one-off transaction, maybe hard to compare lah. But this guy, 16 and then 18, all transact around the same prices. So is it constant? I think pretty much. Does it provide a point for the rest to cash out? I would think so. So is 450K enough? I certainly think that it's still quite lucrative, amount of return. But is this an opportunity at this point of time? I think to most people, it will think it will be more of a risk. But this guy still recognize that this is an opportunity. Yes, today I may not be able to eat a full pie, but can I eat the majority of the pie? He still can. That's why he let go of this 180K, and then he still managed to pick up almost $500,000. Okay, on hindsight, you think, wow, this guy is smart. But last time, people would think it's crazy. And then essentially, I think when it comes to property, it's always the same vicious cycle again and again. When people say that, last time most people will be thinking, crazy guy, you're going to buy this, buy that. Then end up this crazy guy actually ended up being the hero that everyone worship. But does this happen to every single one? I'm not telling you to go out there. TD just say, never mind, you just miss opportunity today, up by 200-300K, also just buy. That's not my intention, please. Please go and analyze what are the fundamentals around the area that whether is it able to go up. If you're talking about Sengkang Grand, I really don't think so. So make sure you do a due diligence, go and do up your fundamental analysis of the area, know who are the competitors, how much are they selling, and then are they comparable? Is there a distinct advantage over it? If not, then this development definitely has a distinct advantage. And I can tell you, that is probably the reason why, even after increasing this amount, it's still able to go even further. So how are you going to find another development that is able to give you this distinct advantage that can jump? Okay. And then I'm just going to finish off with a quote. Opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you're going to miss them. Okay. So hopefully those of you who have been looking around for a very long time, you manage to find something that you like. Rather, it is more rational for you. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to recognize, are you buying for investment or are you actually buying more for your own state to enjoy? If you're buying for investment, I think, or at least some part of your investment, you don't want to lose money, and that is a big priority to you, then you may not want to be too emotional about it. On the other hand, if you're buying purely for overstay, you have really zero expectation, you're okay to even lose money at all, then just go ahead and buy whichever place you like. You want to buy Atas also can. Oh, so why CCR? There are people who are losing millions, and it's always happening because most likely these guys are big businessmen. They are big business owners. They can afford to lose their millions, and it doesn't sting them even if they lose $2-3 million. But is it going to be stinging us $2 to $3 million next time if we have a loss? I think definitely. Okay. So I think every single market there are opportunities. It's just that how are you going to find them? How much due diligence are you going to be doing? And if you're not able to do it because of whatever resources constraint, are you going to be finding the right amount of help? So for those of you who are having trouble and then you really do wish to have a neutral point of view, then you can contact me and then let's see how we can help you. That will be all we have for today, and then see you guys. Bye bye.